Hello, everyone. Welcome to the EDC Crew podcast. I got myself, Philip, and Rico from. He's actually on duty right now in his town at the fire hall.
Mhm.
So today's episode, we'll be talking about the essential elements of survival kits, which we'll go through it individually between the two of us. What we carry as our four mains, or main items that we like to carry for survival kits. Uh, so it's like I said, it's very subjective for everybody on where you are geographically. So I mean, for me and for you, it's going to be like I have different items. I have more than the four basic items that we're going to talk about. We're going to have Rico here talk about as it's his area of expertise. He is a survival instructor. So start us off here.
Yeah, like we were talking before the show started. Everybody has their own individual preferences for stuff that they want to have with them. Everybody's bag is going to be different. It might be not a bag. It might be a vehicle kit. It might be a go bag. It might be a bug out bag. Everybody calls everything different. And usually, when I tell people, like we were just speaking about, was there's like four basic things, and then after that, it's preference. You basically need the big four, which is food. So you can have food with you, or have a way to procure food, like foraging, fishing, hunting, something like that. You need water, or if you're not carrying water, a way to purify water. And there's three ways to purify water. There's filtration, there's chemical, and then there's boiling. So you can carry tablets, but tablets run out. You can carry like a Sawyer or a Life Straw, but they run out as well. I personally still think the best thing to do is carry a metal pot, like a mess kit, and then you can boil water forever, and that never runs out. Unless you
Yeah,
destroy it or something. So that's what you need in order to purify water. Shelter. You can figure out how to build a shelter, like lean-tos or A-frames or stuff like that, or you can bring a tarp. I mean, in the back of my truck, I actually have a tarp kit with some bungee cords and some nylon rope, so you could always do that if you had to.
yeah,
And then fire. So you have to have fire to cook your food. A lot of stuff has parasites in it. You need it to stay warm. You can chase off animals with it. So basically, it's food, fire, water, and shelter. And after that, then whatever. like it,
yeah.
People have knives. Uh, I carry wire for like if you have to trap like snare wire, to snap small game animals. I mean, so it's totally a preference. After the main things, everybody has a knife probably. Some people carry firearms. Some people carry primitive weapons like muzzle loaders or muskets or bow and arrows, anything. I know Canada's different. I'm not sure what your what you guys do with like firearms. I don't know. It's not like the United States.
Yeah, it is actually a complete. Only certain people allowed to do wilderness carry. So basically, the trap lines and hunters are the only ones who are like allowed to carry a firearm out in the wilderness. Which I'm with you guys down south of the border. It's you guys have it
Yeah,
right in that respect.
there's other
Um,
ways. There's like so many other. I always try to
yeah,
tell. Because some people here can't have guns. They don't have a license or whatever. But there's other things. You can get like a bow and arrow. Like you can buy a good compound bow. You can buy a crossbow. In Massachusetts, I'm in Massachusetts. You're not supposed to hunt with a crossbow. But if shit hits the fan, you're stuck in the woods. You got to do what you got to do. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
you can get
Uh,
crossbows. You can get carry pepper spray. In case bears or bear spray or whatever.
well, yeah, it's. I remember I did a few survival courses over 20 years ago. For when I was in the cadets, basically, I was in basically what you would call down in the states the Civil Air Patrol. We're basically the equivalent of the Civil Air Patrol.
Right.
Um, so we did a lot of survival courses, a lot of that type of stuff. So I got learned a lot of skills and techniques at that time. I always carry one of my essential elements in my kit, anyways, is always at least a 30 foot or 40 foot or 50 foot length of paracord, uh, water purification tablets, a plastic sheet, and a catch basin of collapsible catch basin. That's usually comes out to be like this big and
Right.
expands out like this. Uh, and a way to dig a hole, which is usually it's a
Each.
throwaway knife.
Yeah.
A throwaway knife, if you don't have the E tool for lightweight. E tool is always nice to have. You dig a 3x3 hole by about a foot and a half deep. put your catch basin in, put this plastic sheet on top, put a little pebble in a
Right.
sunny area. You have 3, 4 liters. You have about a liter or two of water for you after a few hours. So
That's awesome.
it's like you're saying about water essentials. Like if you don't have, if you're not escape and evasion type
Right.
of deal, is that's the one technique that we're taught. So that's for water for me. It's one of the things I carry. I also carry the tablets, carry the little liquid purifiers, the straw.
Yeah. You
My
gotta.
kit, my kit was set up. It was more of a. It was not your small kit. It was a full, all-encompassing kit. I had enough food supplies for at least 3, 4 days.
Right.
The knife, the fire starter, the signal equipment, which we can always say, if you have a light that has the SOS mode or a strobe mode, that attracts people's attention.
It's funny. I have that light. I bought a light from Harbor Freight here. It was like $14, 558 lumens. It has the three modes with the strobe. And actually, I was using it when I was on a call. We were doing a training, and I was on the side of the road with the fire truck, and I put it on that strobe mode, and it's super visible. It's like 600 lumens. So
Yeah,
people see that so they don't run you over. Even if, you'd be surprised how much reflective stuff you have on. People still can't see you, apparently. So
yeah, I
like,
know, I know
like
that.
got on
It's
a big reflecting suit. You still can't see me, but the
yeah,
strobes are awesome. There really is a good use for them. People say you can use them in self-defense. I mean, it's possible. You could probably scare an animal with it, but it's definitely an awesome signaling device, if anything.
yeah, it's like a little signal mirror is in the
Yep,
kit.
have one.
A little compass, just a
Hey,
little
you know what? That's
$30
another thing. You should
compass.
always try and get it. Learn if you don't know how to, because I teach a land nav class and a topo class and topo map. Sometimes the topography map is useless because you're not in the same area. You don't know where you're going to be lost. So to me, it's kind of like, well, you should know how to read one. But if you can
Yeah,
get a lens static compass with all of the degrees on it, you can always find your way back to where you're going. You know what I
you
mean?
could
So,
you could use a little bit of like triangulation. Okay, that
yeah.
point's this for me. That point is
Honestly,
whatever degrees. You need to take your
online,
3 5 points. You're
yeah, if
good
you
to
go
go.
on, REI has an online compass class. It's free. It's like not even a class. It's just like an article, and it teaches you how to use it. It's awesome. It's pretty good. I actually use.
Actually, that's one that I need to refresh my skills on because I haven't used one in almost over 20 years.
Yeah,
So
it's pretty awesome.
last time I used it was we were doing basically a topo class. I was doing
Yeah,
that with the air cadets, and it's like, yeah,
absolutely.
kept on getting told you're wrong, because it's a 1 degree off what they got. It's like no, it's what I'm reading. This is what I'm reading. This is what it is. It's not going to be. That's one thing.
No, no.
Everybody has different
And if you're like off
magnetic
by like
fields,
one
so
degree,
it's
right?
you're not.
Yeah,
It's like 1 degree over 60 miles. You're a mile off course,
yeah, true. If it's
but
yeah, yeah,
you're doing. So it's like you're here. You're going to be checking your nav point as often as you can, every
yeah.
100 yards or whatever. You're checking it, so you're not going to be far off course. You're going to know you're off course very quickly if
Oh yeah,
you're in certain areas.
yeah. You
Um,
just there's so much stuff that you could. Oh, another one is Udemy. It's online classes you can take, and some of them you have to pay. Some are free, but they're not expensive. Literally, they're like $12.
yeah.
So US dollars. I mean,
So yeah, about 16 here,
yeah.
which
So
sucks.
there's tons of like courses. People are. I don't know what's going on with Corona in Canada, but everything's opening up here. Like I'm vaccinated because I was in the fire department, so I got vaccinated, and they're making it so we don't even have to wear masks now if you're vaccinated. So whatever. So I can teach classes again. I'm a stop the bleed instructor. That's another thing people should learn is medical. Take a first aid class or something, and or stop the bleed classes. Usually they're free or they're like $20. Like so I mean I charge $25. That's it. It's not even that much. You get certified, you get a certificate. It never expires for Stop the Bleed because it's a government run class. It's Department of Defense with the American College of Surgeons, so that never expires. And then first aid classes here, I don't know about in Canada, but you have to recert every 2 years. You don't have to, but I do actually because I'm a first aid.
Ours, I know the one I had. I need to redo the course. Unfortunately, I let mine lapse about 16 years ago, 15, 16 years ago, so I need to redo the course. But it's about every 2 to 3 years, I think, up here. Depends on what
Is it?
course you have.
That's usually what.
So
It's
I
usually
know
like
this.
I
The
teach
C,
first aid, so it's an advanced first aid class, and I give people 2 year certifications. It's a federal class, so it's FEMA. It's a FEMA class, so it's nationally recognized. So it's just
we have
CPR.
two. We have the two up here. We have the two courses that we do: the St. John's Ambulance and the Red Cross. Provide the first have the two first aid courses that we have up here. I was emergency and standard first aid. I had both classes 2 different times. I took 2 different courses, so I had the emergency and the standard. And it's one of those things. It's such a handy thing to have. Like you don't never know when you're gonna need to use it. It's like in your head. There's times where it's like, okay, you're not even knowing you don't know how you're gonna respond to it if you've never had to use it in the past. So it's like,
I'm gonna have to go out to my vehicle because I'm running out of juice here. So I'm gonna go out and plug in so I don't run out of. I'm surprised at how much it actually uses for your battery. Yeah, first aid thing is
yeah,
really awesome because you never know what happened. You never know what's gonna happen. And if you're reactive, it's not good. You should be pro, and basically know what you're doing before it happens, not freaking out. Um,
yeah.
so that's another thing. I try to be proactive, not reactive.
Well,
So
yeah. I remember a few
easy to
years
say.
ago, actually, with the first aid part for me. I'm like, I missed the city's library. This way, it was early morning. It was morning in January. We had a senior that was I kind of was knew he was there. I'm kind of just walking, waiting to go back home to the library, get to work, and I turn around. He's on the ground, and it's like, oh. So I just basically rush over to him, make sure he's okay, get him up, and okay, make sure he didn't bump his head at this time. He didn't bump his head. He just had a little bit of a diabetic issue, and he went down. So I'm like, okay, I helped him up. I'm carrying my computer, all the paperwork I need, all the books and binders I need for my job, what I'm doing, and it was that I didn't get a chance to take it off. Yeah, I'm lifting this guy up with about 60 pounds of stuff on me just to get him up into the
Wow.
library. The janitor came in the library, helped me get him inside. We put him on the bench, and it's like, and I'm trying to get into the bench, and he just went jello legs, and fell right down out of my grip. And split his head open a little bit, cut his hand open, and I'm like, the library, they're panic mode. I'm in that little zone. It's like, okay, get me a first aid kit. I had one on me, but I forgot about that one. But it's just one of those things. You're not thinking 100%.
Right.
You're just like reacting to the situation, and it's like dealing with the injury. So they got me some gauze or whatever it was. It got me some rubber nitrile gloves, so I can. Well, security guards on there. I'm just doing a quick assessment when paramedics show up,
Mm-hmm.
which they showed up in about 15 minutes, which is pretty good for our city. From
Yeah.
the time the call, from overall, from the start of it to the end of it, was about 15, 20 minutes. And it was like, they responded well. I mean, I told them for the head, concerned about the head injury. So I told him, look me in the eyes, I see your eyes. And he's a ski instructor too, so he knew why I was doing it. And he was like, just doing that bug out eye type thing to stim me right down. So he was like, okay, boom. She's a paramedic, so obviously you have the two best paramedics in the city of Barrie here that are helping you out. So my job is done. Good luck there, and gave the paramedics the briefing on what was going on. They took care of them, and so it was one of those. Like you never know how you're going to react until you're put in that situation.
Yeah.
So survival is the same way. I mean, obviously it's different for you. You've done it many times, but somebody who's never been in that situation.
It's like under stress. You have to like practice and keep yourself up to the level that you want to be at. And it's different when you're doing something as a drill, and then different than when you're doing it for real, because then you're under, stress and whatever the elements are outside. It could be cold, your hands might not work, whatever. You gotta like do all this stuff that you don't normally do. You gotta be fast, whatever. There's like so many different things that you can have besides your survival. All the stuff you can have when you're whatever. 72 hours worth of have, truck I have a kit that I made. So that's got like 3 MREs in it, so that's like 3 days. Plus some other stuff. Plus, actually, you go to Walmart, you can repurpose things. Grease. Dude, I saw it online, actually. It's like a grease trap, but it could look like a coffee pot. And you could boil water. It's small, and it's like $7. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I jammed some ramen noodles in there with sardines and put the top on. If I ever get stuck, I can add water to it. You're boiling it anyway and make the ramen. So, you know what I mean? There you go.
Yeah.
So there's like everybody, you know what I mean? And then, like, for first aid stuff, I got like my little bag. I got like an EDC bag, like, and I got H&H Medical. So I have this, but that's not for me. But that's for whoever. Narcan. I have a mini compression bandage. Things you can buy. Those are awesome. So stuff you can get that's not very big that will fit in a little bag, and you can carry it around with you on a daily basis. So.
Well, I mean, there's this one product that I know I haven't seen it anywhere in a while. Actually, the last person I've seen it, he closed his business down a few years ago. Was this the Stop Bleed powder?
Oh, they sell that. You can buy it online. Celox. What else? Celox has it. Moonsail has it. You can actually buy it at Walmart. Actually, Walmart sells bleed powder like or something. It's literally called Stop Bleed. And it works, I guess.
Yeah,
I never used to have it. So.
Yeah, I always like my kit, my little first aid kit. Like it's on my EDC or my survival kit bag. It has the gauze, the stop. It doesn't have the stop bleed powder or anything. Stop bleed has the gauze, the pressure stuff, the pressure bandages, stuff like that. The all the chest wound or whatever you want to call it has that type of valve material, the bandage for that. That's about all it has. It's not a full on kit, and it had that, but I think it expired, so I basically just tossed it. I couldn't find it. Unfortunately, up here, Walmart doesn't stock it. I haven't seen it at Walmart here in Canada yet, so it's like I'm at a point where I have to buy a pre-built kit with it again just to get that stuff again. So I have a kit that just needs to be resupplied. So
right.
It's my around the house all time first aid kit that I use the stuff that's in it. So being a mechanically inclined person, I cut my hands quite a bit. So it's just one of those things. But yeah,
there's some stuff online. RescueEssentials.com is a good place to get medical support. That's where I get a lot of stuff from. H&H medical stuff or whatever. I mean, you can get anything on Rescue Essentials. You can buy iPads. Some of them are super expensive, but it's better off, honestly, to go much cheaper.
Yeah, what was it? I was looking at the update my first aid skills and where I am, the type of stuff I'm doing, and I'm going to be doing in the future. Is I'm thinking I might just get a wilderness survival, like wilderness first aid course, just because it's probably the most advanced type of first aid course that we can get without becoming paramedics. I just want that type of skill set. I have that ability to have the kit it comes with. I think the course like $150, $250 up here. I forget exactly how much it was when I last looked, but it had everything I need for wilderness first aid. So to me, it's a worthwhile idea for me. Doing a lot of hiking I did, except when we were in COVID, would go all the solo hikes. So it's one of those parts. It's like I carry the equipment I need for the solo hike, and just with the photography equipment. So it's at the same time. It's we just lost him, everyone. I'm not too sure. I think his battery just died. So comes to survival kits, first aid kits, stuff like this. There's items. It's all individual for us. So I know me. I have at least a knife. Multiple different ways to start a fire. So lighter, Zippo fluid, lighter Zippo, uh, ferro rod, stuff like that. Waterification, you have tablets, all that. So yeah, okay,
I got lost you there.
yeah. The system as it does that, it just kick you to the back connection somehow. But yeah, it's. I was just saying, like the kits itself, like you can have your knives, the ferro rods, multiple ways of starting a fire is always important. Sometimes one thing's going to fail. So the tried and true method, the good old striker ferro rod, it's probably the best backup to a backup type of fire starting system.
Oh yeah.
Me, Zippo fluid is handy for everything. Like you can use that to help get the fire going. Soak your stuff; it'll get it going enough to get the kindling going. You can build your fire up from that. You have there's so many different techniques for it, fire starting that were there. Uh, the little baling wire, like little 20 thou lock wire for snares. It's very handy to have. I would buy 1,000 foot. I have a 500 yard roll of it in my toolbox. I use for work. It's those things. Oh, we lost me again. So yeah, there's multiple types of what you have in your kits. Like my kit that I built a few number of years ago. I had 3 days of the food, a small spool of lock wire, the thin lock wire, a little meta kit, food, all those items, multiple water purification, a mylar blanket, starting kit, signaling kit, which is always essential. The flashlight, the stuff is sometimes stuff you already have on you that's handy to have. Um, so yeah, it's you can always adjust accordingly to do it. You always gonna have a knife on you. If you're at the woods, you're carry have a little pot holding knife. So I was me personally. I have years ago. I had a nice solid fixed blade, which was on the back on my belt, on my side, on my leg, on a drop down type sheath attached to the bag. So that's one area. Another item I have in my kit. It's going to vary for you. What I had, it's not important. It's what works best for you, what you like. So it's other items that people have. I have. It's like I said, water purification, important food, 3 4 days worth of food. Candies for hydration, help keep you hydrated. Some chewing gum, another thing to keep you hydrated in there. Way to purify water, way to hold water is usually that's the most neglected one. So we're gonna take a minute break here, guys. So I'm gonna put this on, and we're gonna. I'll be right back. Okay. Okay. Hopefully everything is. Hopefully you go. I'm gonna be. I'll be right back.
I'm not mute. So not really sure what's going on here. My connection is working. They are trying to restore the connection issues. Meantime, apparently I am still alive on the air, so we're talking about the essentials of survival kits. And like I said, 4 things at least. You should always have food, water, shelter, and an ability to start fires that you can cook or stay warm. There are various other things people carry. Knives. I collect knives anyway, so you should always have a knife. You use it to strike a fire steel. Obviously, you use to capture meant from the time, or damage the edge, and then you're probably you probably shouldn't really do that, to be honest with you.
Okay, yeah. I see we're having a few technical issues right now, everyone. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully, Rico will be back on with us shortly. So, yeah, it's survival kits are very individual, I'm going to say. Like what we have, what you have, will probably be different. You might have different philosophy than what we have. Um, I know most people have a different philosophy. Me, because I overbuild my kit. My survival kit's always been overbuilt for it. So it's just how it is. So it's those times that you have to kind of, it comes to hope. It's interesting little,
I'm literally have no idea. I don't know what's going on. I'm
yeah.
right next to the router, like literally.
Yeah, I've had that issue. I first started using this restream here. I've had issues with it since day one, but I mean, it's actually toned down from where I'm kind of more stable. It's working a lot smoother for me now. So, but I think their mobile
I
system
I actually
is an
use
issue.
Facebook Live, so I mean I don't know. That seemed to work with no problem.
Yeah, it doesn't want to work for me that well. So I get so much feedback in my audio. It's not even funny, and I'm using a headset.
Yeah, that's
So
what yeah, that's
I was looking for
I
something I
just
can
feel like a
actually.
lot of feedback and a lot of static.
It's
Like
what we.
you froze up. Actually.
Yeah, that's another issue I always have is me freezing up.
It is Canada though,
It.
so like
We have
you're
fiber
up in the
optic
middle
up
of
where I am. Not really.
it's we just actually I went to so we have brand new fiber optic internet. They literally just put it in like last year. I was here when they were doing it. You know what I mean? So I'm like the router's like 3 inches from me. Like I'm like, why is this not working?
Yeah, well, I used to when I left the airport a few shit back late 2000s. I was working at the airport. The economic shutdown that happened back then, I lost. I was just below the cutoff point. So for I needed work. So at the time, I was like, the only company that was hiring people at the time was Bell, are one of the main company providers for internet providers for the area, internet phone providers. So I was in their reuse center, so I dealt with all their computer and equipment. Oh crap. Okay. Dealt with all the computer equipment, all this, and they were just starting to put all the fiber optics in that area and around. So recently it's got up to where I am now. So yeah, on topic, we just lost Rico again. It's just one of those things. Sorry guys, having a little bit of technical issues today. So Murphy is in the house on both ends, it seems. Um, yeah. I was saying before, it's our first aid kit, our first aid, or our survival first aid kits are going to be individualized, very individual. That what we have, you might not have, or you might not see me, but there's the four basic, as we were saying: food, fire, water, shelter are your main ones. Staying dry is key in any survival situation. So um, we might just have to call this episode a short episode today. I mean, it just did not work out at all today. So we're going to come back and we will call it for the episode. So do the closings of it right now, just for that, and we'll move on. We'll have a hopefully you guys have a great weekend after this. So, but it's equipment like it's very subjective. Survival kits are very subjective. Everybody is different philosophies. It also comes down to different geographical regions, what you carry. So some areas you're gonna need bit more. You can't do the tricks I know for water purification in a lot of areas. So it's one of those things. But yeah, it's but purification tablets, liquids, the life straws, the filter for water filtration systems. Even with those, I still recommend you boil it too as well. Some of these systems, the filtration system, I'm more partial to say you just boil the water as well. Do a filtration boil. Um, Distilling is probably your best way to do it. If you can build a way to distill it, you're ahead of the game, so to speak. So I'm going to say it's nothing. I think it's time that we should just say call it while we're ahead type of deal, and it seems like we're having a lot of technical issues today. So I would say thank you to Rico for joining us today. Hopefully you'll have a lot more often and work on these technical issues that we're having today. And it's going to take time. We're just starting out. He's just starting out working with us, so working with me on this. So it's going to be we're going to take a little while to get everything the bugs worked out of the system and finding possibly a new system. So
On again.
yeah, yeah, it's it's just one of those things today. I mean, I might say we just call it with all these technical glitches today, and
Okay.
do like so. I
Cool.
mean, it's not that it's our plan that we're planning so much more content. I have a few other things I wanted to say, but we're having technical issues, and thank you for joining us. You're the new member of the crew.
Oh, you're welcome, man.
It's You're on duty, which is we're taking time from your day, and it's like we got to see the Agent 4 at the
Nice.
beginning of the show. So that's always makes it better for
Yeah, yeah.
the fire, showing honor to the firefighters. Uh, it's talked a lot about survival equipment today, what we have in our kits, and it's like we said, it's very subjective to the person and location. So I'd say thank you guys for tuning in today, and yeah, it's thanks for tuning in. Follow us on EDC Every Carry Canada International on Facebook. Follow Rico's. I'm sure he'll post his stuff on the link. Uh, I post in the group and on the page. So thank you guys for watching. Have yourselves a great day.